Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I am a medium, and as a medium, I connect in with our loved ones on the other side. And I'm also a certified life coach. And as a life coach, I help people handle their problems, basically, so that they can have a happier, more fulfilling life. Now, today's coaching tip is all about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. This morning, I woke up with two cats lying on top of me. One of them was all cuddled up on my legs, and the other one was on my stomach. It was a nice feeling then just to have that very peaceful kind of, oh, look, this is so cute, the cats are with me. In life, we get really busy, and sometimes we don't pay attention to those ordinary moments. We don't appreciate the everyday ordinary moments, like having a cat lying with you when you're waking up. If we don't make a point of paying attention to those moments, we don't realize that they're actually more than ordinary. They're extraordinary. Extraordinary doesn't mean over the top exciting. It really involves a sense of wonder, awe, and appreciation. There's a feeling of contentment and satisfaction that goes with appreciating these things to the extent that we might call them extraordinary. The value of extraordinary moments is shown to us when we don't have those ordinary moments any longer. Something might change. So, for example, when someone passes, what is it we miss? We miss the ordinary everyday conversations, whether they're on the phone or in person, we're just hanging out in the evening, talking or something. We miss their quirks. We might even miss the behaviors that used to bother us and drive us crazy. We're missing that ordinary connection that we had with a person. If we're experiencing a health challenge, what is it we might miss then? We miss those ordinary moments where we used to just be able to do something, get up and do it, but now we're not sure if we can do it anymore. We have to judge how much energy we have or whether or not we can even get up and go for a walk if we want to. Now, when life changes, and life is full of change, this is the perfect opportunity to remind ourselves to pay attention to those everyday, ordinary moments. Have you ever watched a movie and you know there's going to be some disaster coming? And what do they show in the beginning? You know, somebody's getting on a plane or something, and it's all the ordinary moments. You know, you're just putting your suitcase away, you're talking to your neighbor, whatever, and then, of course, disaster strikes. So they're emphasizing the ordinary moments so that after the disaster happens, we can look back and go, oh, yes, we'd much rather have that. That was actually more extraordinary. When I was working in the schools, it wasn't until after some awesome teachers started to retire that I realized how special our relationships were there. We would have these great lunch conversations. We'd talk about all sorts of things. Sometimes we'd go out socially, in the evening and do something. If I had questions, I had the support system. I could go ask people, the older teachers, the more experienced teachers, what I should do, or if they had some ideas. And then one by one, these teachers started to retire, and then things started to change. And then the school district took away the faculty lunchroom. And so we ended up being isolated in our own area and just doing our own things. We missed those ordinary connections. They were gone. I didn't realize at the time how extraordinary those moments were until they were gone. Our lives are made up of moments. We'll have those special happy moments, like a special wedding or something, or a trip of a lifetime that we'll make great memories for. But the satisfaction we get out of our lives is because of the ordinary, everyday moments we have. So how can we find the extraordinary in the ordinary? How can we appreciate those small moments that determine the quality of our lives? The way to do this is to be present and grateful. Everything is an opportunity to become present and grateful. When things become familiar and routine, we don't pay attention. We're just so used to having them. We're not present. We don't pay attention. We take our family and our friends for granted. We assume our body is always going to work. We assume our colleagues will always be there. We even expect our car to always work. When we want to go someplace, we think it's just supposed to work. But then sometimes things change. If we were to practice being present and grateful in the things that have become familiar and routine, we'll see how special they are. We could move into this perspective of extraordinary rather than just going, oh yeah, that always happens, it's no big deal. We don't realize how extraordinary our family or friends are, how special they are to us. We're not always grateful for the love we receive from them, and we don't show our appreciation. We don't fully value the time we have with people. If you can be present and grateful with people, family, friends, anyone, you'll start to notice that those moments become more meaningful and more special. You can listen to people, hear what they say, really look at them, see what they're talking about, tell people how you feel, what you think, be open, be vulnerable, all of those things. So you want to connect with people beyond the superficial, because each day we have with someone is very special, and each interaction should be extraordinary. And if we don't pay attention to the moments we have now, we might regret it later when those people aren't here with us. Something else you can do is stay present and grateful in your body. Notice how amazing it is that your body breathes on its own. You don't have to sit there and think about it. Your heart beats. You can walk, talk, paint, whatever you want to do. You can eat food. You can notice it and pay attention to it. Really taste it. Don't eat it while you're watching TV. Pay attention. Be present, because it's extraordinary that we have so many different kinds of food here in this world and that we have access to it. You want to be present and grateful in your surroundings. Make a point of noticing what's around you. Sometimes we just don't pay attention to the weather because it's always the same or whatever. We just don't notice it. But there are blessings within each of these things. There's blessings in the trees, the birds, the breeze. Pay attention to your surroundings, the house you live in. Do you have a roof over your head? Isn't that awesome? Some people don't have that. It's pretty extraordinary. So look at things with a sense of wonder. Look at them and notice the beauty and notice the miracles that are there for you. Be present and grateful for yourself. Sometimes we forget ourselves. We're worried about other things. Be present and grateful with yourselves. You have free will to create the life you want to have. You have the ability to create a life that's full of the meaning that you want it to have. You get to choose which voice you listen to, the inner self-critical voice or the inner voice of encouragement and positive feelings that encourages you to see the best in yourself, to accept yourself as you are. So be grateful and present in the power you have, who you are as a person and what you can achieve here. It's really rather extraordinary that we are all here on this earth in a solar system in a gigantically huge universe. Isn't it kind of extraordinary that you're here on this ball of mass orbiting a sun someplace? Don't you think that's amazing? It's extraordinary. We take this for granted. We don't get up in the morning and go, oh my goodness, it's so amazing. We're whipping through space out here. We don't do that. We should do that and notice it because it's really extraordinary. So you're here to experience life. You need to be experiencing every moment you have. Don't let the ordinary moments become routine and familiar. Recognize that they're extraordinary. And the way to do that is by being present and grateful. So this week, just pay attention and see what you've got around you. See what's happening in your life. Pay attention to those small moments. I think you might find them to be rather stunning once you start noticing. So that's my coaching tip of the day. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden. You can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Self-Empowerment Coach. And my website, I'm getting a new website. It should be done by the end of the month. As soon as it's done, I will be telling you because I'm quite excited about it. So we are going to go to our first caller, who is Caitlin from Australia. Caitlin, how are you today?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How can I help you today?
So I did see a post on Facebook and it required some information for a free reading. So that's why I'm through to you guys. But I think I've called also to get some information on someone that passed away that was very close to me last year.
Okay. And who are you looking for? Because I want to make sure I'm looking in the right place. I don't want to waste time just kind of going with just anybody.
It's my grandmother.
Okay. So tell me if this sounds like her. If it does, it is. If it doesn't, it's not. Okay. I do have a woman who is stepping in, and the way she's coming in, I am getting some pressure in my chest area. I can't tell if I have a breathing issue along with some other things, but there is that feeling. I also feel like I'm a little bit unsteady on my feet, and I feel like I hold on to the backs of chairs and couches and things like this as I'm moving. So I feel like I'm having to support myself as I go about. Is your grandmother like that?
Yes, he passed away from a heart attack.
Okay. And would you happen to understand her having some problems breathing as well?
No, it was very sudden and there was no signs of it. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, because I can feel some breathing issues, I can feel some pressure in the chest, and the whole walking thing and stuff. Now, this person, if it is her, the way she's coming through, there's a connection of I want to be telling you. Number one, I want to tell you it's going to be okay. Number two, I want to tell you to keep your chin up. Okay, to keep your chin up, and I want to tell you also to interesting that. Now, the way she's coming through, hold on, I got to back up a minute for a second here. The way she's coming through is I want to acknowledge that you guys had quite a nice relationship, that she was there for you. Would she have been one to tell you what she's really thinking and give you pretty straightforward advice, but even with that is very accepting of what you say?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't feel like she minces words so much. You know, I feel like she says what she wants to say. Would she have reason to be telling you to keep your chin up? Have you been going through something? You know, I know she's passed, but have you been going through something else that has kind of gotten you down?
I guess like I've had a bit of self issues myself, being really down.
Okay. Okay. It's very interesting because I want to keep it reassuring you. I want to tell you it's going to be okay and not to worry about things. Okay. She says sometimes you can get stuck in the little bit of worry in your head and you start wondering what's wrong with you. You know, why can't you move out of this? Why can't you make this better? And she wants to remind you too that you cannot control other people. So if there are things going on around you where you can't control what's happening, that's okay. You're not supposed to control other people. So if you want people to be acting in a certain way, they're not going to necessarily do it that way. So you've got to kind of accept them as they are. She tells me also, now this is interesting, would you understand a fire having significance with her or your family?
What do you mean necessarily by a fire, like a fight or?
I'm not really sure. All of a sudden I was seeing fire. And I will say anything that pops into my head because you never know what's important, but I'm seeing a fire. And so I'm wondering if there was, a house burned down or if there was something that happened, a wildfire or something that's connected to your family. Do you know any stories about a fire in your family somewhere?
I mean, with that together, we kept getting like donation letters from the local fireplace because when their old house had an incident with a fire, they helped. I mean, that's the only story I can think of.
Okay, that may be related. It's interesting. Sometimes they'll just bring things through like that just to, keep me connected and to recognize that we are talking to her. So there may be that because on the other side, they know what's going on here in life. They know what you're experiencing now. There's also the feeling, and I want to talk about a pipe as well. And this kind of pipe is a smoking pipe, okay, not a water pipe or something like that. Did you have somebody in your family who smoked a pipe?
I'm not too sure. Could have been my pop, but I'm not 100%.
Okay. So there's just a mention of that. So I do want to just acknowledge that it's there. And there's also the feeling too. Now this is interesting. Okay. Now here's a really strange thing. If you know what this means, this will be a miracle. I want to talk about garbage. Okay. Like kitchen garbage, things like this from the kitchen. And she's giving me the impression, and I don't know if this now or if it's something that happened with her, but there seems to be some significance significance with kitchen garbage? Okay, I'm going to just play with this for a minute. Does somebody, did she compost, use the garbage, put it back into the earth, something like this, or did something else happen with kitchen garbage? Do you have any idea?
Well, I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, my kitchen fills up with a lot of rubbish, and her photos facing the rubbish on my fridge.
Okay, that's interesting. So I don't know if that's what she's talking about, but sometimes they'll bring in things that are just a little bit different, just to so that you can recognize, what's going on, and she knows what's happening. She does come through with a lot of love for you, and she wants to tell me how appreciative she is for everything you did with her before she passes, because you were there for her, and she very much enjoyed talking with you. Okay, you really made a point of being there, and you really made a point of maintaining that connection with her, and she does want to acknowledge that. She also wants to acknowledge after she passes that even though it's on the sudden side, that you still continued to talk to her. You still continued to say things to her and tell her how much she means to you. And she appreciates that as well. Do you happen to have a younger brother or sister?
Yeah, I do.
I want to acknowledge that. Okay, I do want to acknowledge that too. There's a feeling of wanting to touch in with family and recognize how important family is to me. And also people relying on each other now. You're really, after she passes, there is a coming together of family that she wants to acknowledge as well. One more thing before I let you go. I want to be drinking a cup of tea. Okay, I want to acknowledge a cup of tea. Did you sit with her and drink tea with her?
Yeah, every time we used to go over there, she'd have the tea and the cookies and platters ready.
Okay. So apparently she still wants to maintain that connection as well. So feel free when you sit down for a cup of tea to talk to her still as though she's still there, because they do hear you. They hear everything that's going on, and they love when you talk to them. So it's so fun. I do like her. She does bring in so much love for you, and she wants you to know that she's still there for you. So make sure you understand that. And she wants to say again to keep your chin up. No matter what's going on, keep your chin up. It's always going to work out. And she must have been on more optimistic side since she keeps bringing that up. So Caitlin, thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. You have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Thank
See you later.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And that was Caitlin from Australia. And it's always so nice when we get some interesting information in the things that we might not expect to be talking about. Next, we're going to move on to Kay from Queens in New York. Kay, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You sound good. How can I help you today?
Yes. I'm excited, actually.
It's
I'm
fun, isn't it, when you get through?
You. Yes.
Nice to meet you. It is.
Okay. I just want to actually get it connected with any of my ancestors that have a message for me to turn into my journey or my life or,
Or anything. Yes. Perfect.
Yes.
Now,
there's a lot of questions, but I want to narrow it down.
Okay. And, sometimes they'll help us and sometimes they think you got to do it on your own. So we'll see what happens. But I have to tell you, I do have a woman who is coming through who, now this person, I'm noticing I'm getting more enthusiastic here. This is a person who would really let people know what she thought. Okay. She is extremely direct. Yes, that's a good word, feisty. I want to say there's a fire about her. I used that in a different way in the last reading, but if there's a fire about her, I feel like no one can get anything by her, ever. Never, never, never. And there's enthusiasm and there's a passion here. When she gets worked up over something, she gets worked up over something. When she's happy about something, she's happy about something. The thing that I love about her, besides all of that, because she sounds like so much fun, but the thing I really love about her is she's got your back no matter what. She's there for everybody. and she will fight, fight, fight for her family and her people. Do you understand who that might be?
Oh my goodness, it could be. I have a lot of females that passed away on my dad's side, so it could be.
Okay.
It could be
Are
my
they all
aunt.
like that? Okay, because I have to say I'm really liking
similar,
this person. Yeah, I really like the energy because it is somebody who's going to let you know what to do, how to do it. She doesn't have much patience or tolerance for people who are not responsible or don't follow through on things. And she does not like whining. No whining, no whining, no complaining. She doesn't like that at all, which is funny because I actually hear some whining coming out of her. I feel like she would whine about things, but not in a disempowering way, just more of a factual way. The thing she's talking about you, you're kind of like her as well. You have some of that energy. Are you like that too, where you just say what you think?
Yes, I'm outspoken, yes.
And you say and you do and all of that. And when you get worked up over something, you also will get worked up over it. But the thing that's very important to remember is that the passion we have for life and our experiences is what's making our lives more fulfilling. She says you've been questioning a few things lately. There's a bit of a direction shift going on here. I feel like you're trying to figure out if you should stay here, you should go there, and all of that. I want to talk about a relationship. Are you in a relationship now?
Yes. Yes. Not a good one, but yes.
Well, I was just going to ask you if you had some issues there, because I want to talk about that. I feel like we're questioning it. We're questioning the direction. We're questioning if it's working the way you thought it would. Are you doing all those kinds of questions?
I did them in the past, correct, yes.
Okay.
I have just one, it's about relationship, but it's about another person.
Okay.
That I'm questioning.
Okay. And then maybe that. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a romantic all the time. We assume that just because it's our first thing to go to. But yeah, and I feel like I'm questioning. I'm feeling like I'm not sure that things are what they appear to be. Does that make sense?
Not at the moment, but I probably hit it when I think about it.
Okay. No, that's okay, because I don't want to put you down the wrong path either. But it feels like there are things that need to be looked at in a very open way, that we've got to be very straightforward with each other and make sure everything is clear. So there is that feeling as well. I also want to talk about a job situation. Do you have a job now? Are you doing something?
I'm self-employed.
Okay, good.
And I'm trying to switch over from doing daycare, switching over to as a reader.
Okay. What kind of reader?
Well, I can read cards, and I'm very intuitive.
Okay.
I just wanted that I'm tapping into.
Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't something else, reading books or something like this to somebody else. Oh. So I just wanted to make sure, because you'd be surprised the things I've heard in my life here. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you're right.
So you just never know. And the thing too with you is you're somebody then, when you get an idea, you get a path, an idea of which direction you want to go in, you will do everything you can to move in that direction. And I understand you've had training for all sorts of things, so that's great. The thing is, there's a feeling of, I'm getting from the other side, of you trying to move into things sooner than you should be, that you need to wait for things to evolve in the right direction. So that impression to me would mean, don't quit your job and then assume everything is going to be like full time, And I know you're very intelligent. Okay, I know you're intelligent. I know you're not about to do something like, totally quit everything and not have it ready to go. Okay, so I know you're not about to do that. I know you're ready to move into that area. And I understand you've been doing all sorts of sessions with people. So do you have regular clients you see regularly?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to make sure things are set up, okay, that people know you're there and that you're able to do that, okay, because do you get impulsive sometimes? Even though you're really smart, do you get impulsive sometimes and just make a quick decision to change something?
Probably sometimes.
Okay. There's a little feel of that, okay? That it's kind of like I get to the point where life is I've had enough of that part and I want to do something else. So I just make up my mind and I change. And it could be as simple as whatever, so there is that feeling too. Okay. And interesting. And along with this too, I don't feel like it's a real problem for you, financially, okay, to do the switch, but I still want you to be more secure financially before you switch. Okay. That's coming in from the other side. I want to make sure that you're moving in the right direction with this. I'm also getting for you, and if you don't have it yet, I'm getting some kind of an affiliation with a store or something like this where you can get clients from them. Do you have okay, I only have like 90 seconds, so I'm just going to go real fast. Do you have a connection with any kind of a metaphysical store or anything near you?
No.
Okay, so look around, see what's around, see if you can make some connections, because that's actually going to help. Okay, you'll get more people there. Offer to teach a class or something like that, and that will help you make those connections to make it easier, because we definitely want to do that. Okay. So I apparently have to let you go, but it was so nice talking to you and your aunt on the other side. Good luck with this. This is going to be so much fun for you. You're going to enjoy it. So thanks. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. And that was Kay from New York. And I want to thank you all for watching and listening today. So this week, pay attention to your ordinary moments. Make them extraordinary. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention and look at things with wonder and notice what you've got. Notice the important things that are there in your life. Thank you again for watching and listening. And you can follow me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. Thanks again. I will see you next week. Goodbye.